and welcome to the third part of our four or five part series on Wave 4. We are talking about the Z-95 Headhunter, which is the older brother, the older model. It's like the 80s. It's like the hatchback version of the X-Wing.
It's the El Camino.
It's the El Camino of X-Wing, of starships, really.
Right.
So Z-95 Headhunter, obviously the cheapest ship that we're going to see so far. Let's talk a little bit about what we've got going with our dear friend, the Zed. So first off, let's talk about the model. What are your guys' thoughts?
So I like it a lot more than the E-Wing, personally.
Okay.
Just think it's sleeker and looks fast. I don't think it actually is, but
No,
well,
it's it's fine.
Yeah.
But it just looks fast. It looks cool.
Cool.
Well, the thing that I like the most about it, and this is silly, but it's that it has blue paint instead of a bunch of red paint like most of the other current Rebel ships. So
me too.
It just kind of it pops a little bit more when you have it next to other ships.
Yeah, 100%. I like that it has a little bit of a different color scheme, because you just look at it and goes, oh, it looks different than the rest of my ships that are on the table.
Right.
Yeah.
And definitely looks very similar to an X-Wing.
Yeah.
So I think it fits right in there, X-Wing Z-95s.
Yeah, for sure. I think, anyways, I was going to say the little 4 things on it are a little bit odd to me, like the little engines or whatever.
Oh.
Anyways, I don't know. They look bulky. Look, guys.
It's an old ship.
It is.
It's been around a long time.
It's for sure. It's seen some stuff.
Yeah.
It was there during the Clone Wars. You don't want it to talk about it.
It doesn't want to talk about it either.
So, obviously, Z-95 Headhunter. Let's talk a little bit about the dial. So the dial itself, very, very similar to an X-Wing. I feel like we've got a recurring theme here.
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts on the dial of the Z-95 Headhunter?
The thing that I like the most about it is that it is so similar to the X-Wing that if you you can fly X-Wings and Z-95s next to each other and really be able to do all the same stuff that you could before.
That's interesting.
The only difference is the K-turn that it has is one shorter.
Yeah.
But that can actually be a benefit depending on where your ship's placement to start was.
Yeah.
So you just have to be careful not to run the Z-95 in front of the X-Wing. Because if they both K-turn, they both land on top of each other.
They are just right on top of each other. Yeah, not good.
Bad news.
But also could be great if you flip it around. So.
Fun. So let's look at the stat line, because I think to talk about it anymore, we have to start talking about the stat line and the points. Cheapest one, looking at the Bandit, it is 2 attack, 2 agility, 2 hull, 2 shields, right? We're seeing 2 pilots go. So it's a lot of 2s, 12 points. So a lot of 2s going on. Doing this at 2 in the morning. So with this guy right here, obviously it also has a focus and a target lock. It also has a missile slot. What do you think? I mean, it's only 12 points to start. What are your guys' thoughts on it with, obviously having an X-Wing, basically an X-Wing dial, similar to an X-Wing dial?
I think that it's going to be, there's 2 parts that it fills, 2 roles that it fills.
Sure.
One is the same kind of thing that you occasionally see a random Academy pilot in a list of other ships.
Okay.
It can be that. It can be that filler. Man, I have 14 points. I'm gonna put another ship on the board instead of figuring out some upgrade cards. So it starts there, and then we'll get to this. But the higher cost guys actually have some really useful abilities.
Okay.
So there's going to be 2 kind of variants to where you see a Z-95 taking its place in a list.
Yeah, and unlike the E-Wing, it's much less expensive.
Yes.
So much.
Half the cost.
Right. Starts at
Less
Academy
than
pilot level. Sure.
So that's helpful.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you have any?
Being 12 points, I think that was one of the biggest advantages for the Empire for a long time was Empire had a 12 points ship, so you just fit in so many ships in a list. Now all of a sudden Rebels can do that too.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden Rebels will be outnumbering Empire oftentimes, especially with the new Empire ships.
Sure.
So we'll really see that kind of, now both sides can kind of do either the swarm thing or the few elite thing.
Sure. And we might get into this a little bit with the conclusion, but 2 agility. I mean, that, I think that is usually what, I mean, and we don't have to talk about it too much, but 2 agility is really tough. I think the 3 agility is what makes a TIE fighter kind of a little bit viable in a list, but 2 agility is pretty brutal. Any thoughts on... I mean, four health.
Well, so it's 4 health, which is 1 more than the Academy pilot that we're comparing it to. But 2 of that health are shields.
Right.
So it's way less susceptible to a critical or just so many other things.
Right.
And shields are better than hull. That's all it takes.
Yeah. Plus, it's very hard to be one shot at range 1.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Cool.
also, it is only 2 agility.
Yeah. Right.
You're right.
Again, 2 non-unique pilots for the Z-95. And we have first the Bandit. Glenn already kind of alluded to that. 2 pilot skill, cost 12. We also have the Tala Squadron pilot, which is a 4 pilot skill and costs 13. So 1 extra point for 2 higher pilot skill. What do you guys think about these 2 guys? Max?
I mean, they're both really low in cost. So they're the opposite of the E-Wings, where you can, play around with it a lot more and figure out where this kind of fits into a larger scheme of list. So, you could do 2 YTs and then throw a Bandit into the mix. That's weird. Why would you do that? But
You could.
it's just, yeah, you can.
You can.
Yeah.
Because then you'd have it.
Or also,
Yeah.
you could do 8 of these. I wouldn't. Don't do it. But it would be really fun to try.
Yeah, it's possible. Sure.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, that's fair. So as far as so obviously really inexpensive. We'll talk more about that in just a sec. Let's move on to our higher cost guys. Would you like to read your nemesis? Would you like to read?
Sure. So we got pilot skill 6, Lieutenant Blount. He's 17 points, and his special ability is when attacking, the defender is hit by your attack, even if it does not suffer any damage. So that means if you give him an assault missile and you shoot at something,
yes,
it automatically hits and it automatically splashes everything.
Yeah.
So he does not like swarms.
No.
And they go poof.
Well, he actually does like swarms.
He doesn't like them being alive.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So Lieutenant Blount, awesome swarm killer, the guy. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, he's cool. You can throw assault missiles on him and make sure that happens. You could also, do ion pulse and see, make sure that they get ionized. There's so many different little weird things that the missiles can do, and you can do all of them just because.
You're a total missile guy. I can tell.
I'm not.
There's a thing that you shoot. And
I mean, they do stuff. I don't know.
stuff.
Get them away from me. They're so disgusting.
I don't even like him. Get him out of here. No, but he's great.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's really fun.
The thing that blows me away about Lieutenant Blount, though,
Yeah.
is that he just pops those stealth devices.
Yeah.
Like nothing. They're done. They don't work if that guy's on the board.
And that's just an attack. He can just say, I'm attacking them, doesn't even need to hit and gets rid of a stealth device.
Right.
Yeah, fun. Cool.
Yeah. Plus, it's just so solid because a lot of lists feature bigs, which everybody needs to stay within range 1, or Howl Runner, everybody stays within range 1, and he's pilot skill 6, so he can target lock bigs and shoot him with assault missile or the swarm. So it's a really good counter to a lot of this lists that are out there a lot in wave 3.
Yeah.
So
Fair.
The next pilot that we have is an 8 pilot skill, unique. His name is Airen Cracken. And first of all, I love him before I continue.
Yeah.
He has an ability that says, after you perform an attack, you may choose another friendly ship at range 1. That ship may perform 1 free action.
Cool.
Free actions.
Free.
Yeah.
That's for free.
I mean, it's like it's sort of like a built-in squad leader, you know, like, yeah. I mean, that you could still put squad leader on him if you wanted to, like.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's cool. He's a little expensive for his body size, I guess. But at this what?
Are you calling him fat?
He's a little expensive for his stats.
Sure.
But at the same time, his ability really is a strong one. And like you were saying, you've got a lot of builds that actually could protect him from those bad things happening to him while getting shots off. And it's not just when you hit, it's just when you attack, somebody else gets an action. So he's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, put cluster missiles on him, and then you give out 2 extra actions.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that. That's
and then,
really cool.
you know, in a year and a half, when they allow him to carry an extra crew,
You're gonna put a
just
gunner
put a
on him.
gunner on him.
Yeah, sure.
and cluster. It's crazy, guys. Stop it. Just stop.
18 actions at that point. I also don't do math very well. So those are the pilots. Obviously, a lot of cool stuff in there. Should we move on to the upgrade cards?
Yeah.
Let me upgrade you.
Would you like to start us?
Yeah, I'll start.
Go ahead.
So we have a repeat of assault missiles. So we've seen that before. Any comments on that?
Blows a lot of stuff up
Yeah.
when they're close together.
I mean, obviously, I think it's probably one of the big goals of the Headhunter to be able to kind of use a lot of these different weapons, be able to kind of be a missile platform, things along those lines. So I think really huge as far as that goes. Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Then we also have a repeat of the ion pulse missiles. We actually talked about this already in another video.
Yeah.
But again, it's just another great way to kind of attach things to any of these Z-95s, and relatively low cost as well.
Right, and especially if you're using a couple, could give you some fun stuff to play around with in your swarm. So a couple with assault missiles, a couple with doing different things along those lines. So
Yeah.
fun. Cool.
So, and then we also have munitions failsafe, another repeat. So when you attack with a secondary weapon, you don't discard it if you didn't hit. So what's nice for this guy is you only carry 1 missile and that's it. So if you got to get that missile off, even you have an extra point, throw it on a Z-95.
Yeah.
Just don't put it on Blount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's weird that it's included. I get why it's included, but it's weird because there's, one of the only 4 available pilots is not able to use this card.
Well, you can use it, but it's completely worth it.
It's literally a wasted point.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of
So
weird.
use it.
Yeah, when you're
So
playing
it's a
against
good
me,
idea.
use it.
Well, I imagine just
Please.
using it mostly on guys like the bandits. So
Yeah.
I see it more as, I actually think it's probably optimal for some of the non-unique ones.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good.
Good.
You
All
wanna
right.
you wanna get the next one?
Yeah, the next one is going to be Decoy. Decoy is a 2-cost elite pilot talent. At the at the start of the combat phase, you may choose 1 friendly ship at range 1 through 2. Exchange your pilot skill with that ship's pilot skill until the end of the phase. So you basically swap your pilot skill with somebody else. So it works at 1 to 2. So similar to Swarm Tactics in some ways. Swarm Tactics, you actually give somebody else your pilot skill during combat. This one you swap. I see it as being something you could end up using with something like Opportunist. So one of the things with Opportunist is obviously you usually want to do it later in the round after somebody may have already shed focus or evade tokens. This one gives you the ability then to kind of swap it with, say, someone like Suntir Fel or someone who can really hit hard and really maximize the ability to do that. So I like it. Other thoughts on it? It's kind of a wacky card, really.
I don't understand it. I mean, I understand what it does.
Yes.
But I don't understand when I want to use it.
Yeah.
And it's probably, even if I see someone uses it successfully in some list at some regionals or something somewhere, I still won't get it until I actually play against it, or I see someone playing with it, and I can kind of pick their brain and say, why?
Yeah.
Where is this making sense?
Sure.
I bet it's really cool, but I just don't get it.
Yeah, I feel similarly. I'm like, okay, yeah, I think that's really good. I don't know how I would use that.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like Swarm Tactics is
just better.
Better in almost every way.
I mean, other than it has to be one, right? Swarm Tactic has to be range 1.
Correct. Yeah,
as
that's
opposed
true.
to this has to be range 1 to 2.
That's true.
Yeah.
But yes, you're right.
I don't know.
So it's a bit niche.
Yeah, it's for sure niche. Yeah. Cool.
Good.
Last up.
Last up is the Wingman. At the start of the combat phase, remove 1 stress token from another friendly ship at range 1. Glenn, tell me what you think.
This is probably my favorite one in this pack. It's harder because you're sticking it on to somebody who has an elite pilot talent, so they typically are going to be a little bit higher costed. So it's not like you could just throw this onto a Z or your Academy tie and have it work with it. But it's a passive. So that's really awesome. Like, if you've got someone who's sticking with you at range 1, it's really fun. I could see people throwing it onto Saber Squad pilots. I can see people throwing it onto, I don't know. There's lots of different, like, kind of the cheaper elite pilot talent guys that you can end up throwing this on. I think it's cool. It's going to be a little bit harder as far as that goes too, but it's cool.
My thought on it is, like, with B-Wings or A-Wings, it can make a lot of sense because of their, the B-Wings' ability to do the 2K turn, but then the A-Wings' ability to do multiple types of K turns and stressing them out. It just seems like it could be cool, but again, we'll have to try it and see. It's not something that immediately stands out as great or not.
Plus, there's also a lot more stress-causing abilities that are showing up, so having a guaranteed way of getting rid of that stress is also pretty nice.
Right, absolutely, yeah. Cool. So let's talk about the Z-95 Headhunter really quick. Couple quick questions. Number one, let's just head straight at it. Is it a swarm ship? Is this going to be a ship that you throw 5 or 6 or more of them on the table?
I don't think so. I don't see it happening in a relevant way until something similar to a Howl Runner ability is available for the Rebels.
Now, just as a follow-up, or even maybe devil's advocate, is Kraken and his ability to kind of guarantee a good alpha strike, so potentially give a couple different abilities, maybe squad leader twice or something, effectively squad leader twice. Is that a similar kind of thing to Howl Runner in that sense?
Do you think so?
I mean, kind of close, but I don't know. I guess it's just sometimes with the target locking and alpha strikes with missiles, you have to worry about the mechanics.
Yeah.
So that's a hard thing to get around, but they can do it a lot cheaper than bombers.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I see this ship as something that's going to be somewhere between 1 and 3 in a list with some other ships, kind of either acting as decoy or just extra guns to throw onto the table. I like it a lot. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think putting a ton of them on the table is going to be a recipe for success because they're really easy to kill.
Yeah.
And that's one of the most difficult things for them.
Right.
Yeah. So general question, do you like it? Like, is this a ship that you're excited about? Do you see it being viable? Do you see yourself putting it into serious tournament lists? What do you guys think about that?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to put it into all of my tournament lists. Every single one that I've been in since it came out, I've had it in there.
You and none of them as well.
Well, yes.
Okay. So...
No, but really, I do. I think I like it because I also think... I think I tend to like beefing up, have, fewer, more unique pilots, but also I think that it may be better to have more ships. And so this is a way to just have more ships and less special abilities and
Right.
try that out. So
For you.
for me,
Yeah.
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 It's very solid, yeah. You know, quantity has a quality all of its own, and that's apparent in a lot of X-Wing games. So all of a sudden now you can go from like, you know, a Falcon with 2 support ships to a Falcon with 4 support ships.
Yeah.
So that will definitely be kind of scary.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Do you have any other final thoughts on it? Are you going to play with it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I just did. I will again. I'm going to try out some different things and figure out what to do with it. But I really like it. I think it definitely is going to hold a place in many tournament lists in some form or fashion.
Fun. So that is the Z-95 Headhunter. More on the TIE Phantom, the feared and revered
Loved.
TIE Phantom, fretful. Lots more synonyms coming up after this. Again, keep playing awesome games, and we will see you guys soon.